What if I told you you're just one thought away from a new life? Yes, just one. Not a miracle, not a lucky break, not some perfect moment. One powerful, intentional thought. That's how every transformation begins. Think about it. Every invention, every business empire, every revolution started with one person thinking differently. It's not the situation that changes first, it's the mindset. The external world only rearranges after the internal world shifts. So what if, starting today, you dared to think of something new, something empowering, something freeing? What if you said to yourself, I'm not stuck, I'm just not done yet? Here's the truth, your life is a reflection of the dominant thoughts you allow to guide you. What you believe becomes what you do, and what you do shapes what you become. You see, your mind is not a prison. It's a launch pad. And the rocket fuel. That first new thought. It could be, I am not a victim. I am responsible. Or, I don't need to have it all figured out. I just need to begin. Or maybe, I am capable of more than I've settled for. Each of these thoughts holds the power to shatter limitations. From a Stoic perspective, everything begins with perception. Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In other words, your power lies not in what life throws at you, but in the thoughts you choose in response. A Stoic doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. They create a better reality by choosing better thoughts. That's your superpower. That's your freedom. So today ask yourself, what thought have I been repeating that's been holding me back? And what new thought can I adopt that will move me forward? Don't underestimate this. History was changed by people who simply thought, I can, I must, I will, and so can you. You're not waiting for permission. You're waiting for a new decision. And every decision starts with a thought. So choose one today, right now. Choose the thought that sets you free, because the life you want isn't far away. It's just one thought away. If you want to change your life, you first have to change the story you're telling yourself. Because every day, you are living inside a script. A script written by your past, your pain, your fear, and sometimes by other people's expectations. But here's the truth. That script isn't true. It's just a story. And every story can be rewritten. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not good enough. People like me don't succeed. It's too late for me. I always mess things up. These aren't facts. They're just repeated lines, rehearsed over and over. Lines you've learned to believe. But belief doesn't make it real, action does. And the first action is questioning the script. Stoics taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So what color are your thoughts? What story are they painting? If it's dark, then it's time to rewrite. Start small. Instead of saying, I'm broken, say, I've been through a lot but I'm still here. Instead of, I'm not strong enough, try, I'm learning how to be stronger every day. Change the narrative, change your identity. And remember, your past doesn't get to hold the pen anymore. You do. You can write something new, something bold, something brave. You can say, this chapter is about me rising. This scene is where I take control. This page is where I stop surviving and start thriving. Because here's the truth that most people never realize. We don't live our lives, we live our stories about our lives. And when your story changes, everything changes. So today, take a moment. Sit with yourself. Ask, what story have I been living, and is it serving the person I want to become? If it's not, burn it. You don't owe your past a continuation. You owe your future a new beginning. Rewrite the script. You're not a weak character. You're the hero. You're the author. And the next chapter is yours to create. Because the life you want doesn't come from repeating the same story. It comes from writing a new one. Everyone wants a better life, but not everyone is willing to fight the inner battles that come first. Here's what most people don't realize. Real change doesn't start in your bank account. It doesn't start in your job title or even your relationships. It starts in your mind. The real revolution is an inner revolution. Softer tone, cause we spend years trying to fix the outside. We change cities, jobs, people, even our appearance, but we forget the root of all transformation lies within. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Read that again. You can't always control the world, but you can always master your response to it. That's where your new life begins. Change doesn't happen the moment your circumstances shift. It happens the moment you decide to think differently. The moment you say, "I will no longer let fear control me. I choose discipline over comfort. I will not be a prisoner of doubt." That's the real revolution. Because once you master the inner world, the outer world has no choice but to follow. You become calmer, clearer, stronger. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop blaming and start building. You stop complaining and start creating. The world may stay chaotic. People may stay the same. But you become untouchable, not because the storm is gone, but because you've built stillness within. That's Stoic power. That's self-mastery. And that's what makes you dangerous to your old life. Ask yourself right now, what battle am I avoiding inside? What mental habit must I break to level up? What part of me do I need to rise above? Today, be honest. Because without the inner revolution, the outside will stay the same no matter how hard you chase. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need to ignite transformation. From the inside out. Your thoughts are the battlefield. Your beliefs are the weapons. And your awareness is the key, because when the inner revolution begins, nothing can stop the outer evolution. We've all been there, moments when life hits hard. When things feel unfair. When it's so easy to fall into the mindset of a victim. Why me? Why now? Why can't things be different? But here's the hard truth. That mindset will never set you free. Because every second you live in victim mode, you give away your power to the very thing that hurt you. Pain is real. Loss is real. Injustice is real. But being a victim, that's a choice. And so is being a victor. The Stoics knew that we don't control everything that happens, but we always control what it means to us. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them." And that's where everything changes. One single thought can flip the script. Instead of "this is happening to me," say, "this is happening for me." Instead of "I'm cursed," say, "I'm being challenged and I will rise." Instead of "I can't," say, "I haven't yet, but I'm learning." That shift, that's what separates the average from the unbreakable. The weak complain. The strong convert pain into power. You don't need perfect conditions to rise. You need a new perspective. The Stoics believed that obstacles aren't barriers, they are the path. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So if you're facing something hard right now, something unfair, something painful, that's your opportunity. That's your fire. But it will only forge you if you flip the thought from defeat to determination, from pain to purpose, from the victim. Victory? Ask yourself today, am I feeding the victim or empowering the victor? Am I blaming life or building myself? Am I surrendering or standing up inside? Because the moment you stop seeing yourself as helpless is the moment you become unstoppable. You stop looking for rescue and start becoming your own savior. You stop running from the storm and learn how to walk through it. That's the Stoic way. That's the warrior's way. That's your way now. Most people live their whole lives in invisible chains. Chains made of fear. Chains made of doubt. chains made of what if and what will they think. But the most dangerous chains aren't around your wrists or ankles. They're around your mind. And here's the part no one tells you. The key to break those chains is one powerful thought. I don't have to live like this. That's it. That's the thought that starts the breakout. Because most people don't live the life they want. They live the life they think they have to settle for. Trapped by routine. Paralyzed by opinion. Controlled by a script they didn't write. But you're different. You felt that stirring inside. That quiet voice saying, this isn't who I really am. There's something more. I'm meant to be free. And you're right. But freedom doesn't begin with changing your job or your relationship or your surroundings. It begins the moment you change your mind. The Stoics taught that no one can enslave your mind unless you let them. Epictetus was born a slave physically, but mentally, he was more free than emperors. He said, no man is free who is not a master of himself. Think about that. You can have everything and still be a prisoner, or you can have nothing and still be free if your thoughts are your own. So, what thought are you holding on to that's keeping you locked up? Is it, I'm not good enough? It's too late for me. I'll never change. Let it go. Replace it with, I am in control now. I choose freedom. I create my life starting today. That one shift can break years of chains. Chains from childhood. Chains from society. Chains from pain. All shattered by one inner revolution. Ask yourself, what belief has been keeping me small? What lie have I accepted as truth? And what new thought will finally set me free? You already know the answer. Now speak it. Believe it, live it. Because freedom isn't something you wait for. It's something you claim, and you claim it with a single, powerful decision. To think differently. You are not your fear. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are free, right here, right now, at this moment. Because the thought that breaks chains, you just had it. Change doesn't begin with a loud moment. It begins with a quiet thought, a whisper, a seed. And that seed is called hope. Every great life, every powerful comeback, every transformation starts when one person, in one private moment, decides to believe again, to believe that something better is possible, to believe that the future can be brighter than the past. To believe that growth is still available even after failure, even after heartbreak, even after years of being stuck. The Stoics weren't unrealistic. They didn't believe in wishful thinking. But they did believe in inner strength, inner order, and the power of planting a virtuous idea deep in the soul and tending it with discipline. Courage. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He didn't deny the darkness. He used it to plant the light. That's hope. That's the Stoic seed. It says, even in the storm, I can grow. Even in the dirt, I can rise. Even in this moment, I can choose something new. Hope isn't just about feelings. Hope is a strategy. It's the first domino in the chain of change. You can't build discipline without hope. You can't create a future without first imagining it. You can't fight if you don't believe the battle is worth it. And where does that belief begin? With a thought. Not I need to fix everything now, but I can take one step today. Not I'm so far behind, but I can still become something more. Just like a seed doesn't bloom in a day. Your new life won't appear overnight. But once hope is planted, it grows in silence deep under the surface, where others can't see it, but you know it's there. Ask yourself, have I allowed hopelessness to choke out my growth? What new idea, what new belief do I need to plant today? What if I stopped replaying the old pain and started imagining a better version of me? Your future doesn't come from what's already happened. It comes from what you choose to believe today. Hope is not weakness. Hope is not naivety. Hope is the first act of defiance. The moment you decide, I'm not done yet, so plant the seed, speak the vision, water it with action, and watch your new life take root. There's a voice inside your head, and it speaks to you all day long, but most people never stop to listen. They never ask, whose voice is this? Is it building me or breaking me? Because that voice is your inner dialogue, and it's either pushing you forward or pulling you under. Here's the reality. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you're constantly having with yourself. It's the whisper you hear when you fail, the tone you take when you look in the mirror, the judgment that sneaks in when you're alone. That inner voice is either your greatest coach or your cruelest critic. The Stoics understood the power of inner thought. They knew that if your mind becomes corrupted, the rest of your life follows. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." So ask yourself, what color is your mind right now? Is it painted with fear, shame, guilt, doubt, or is it colored with courage, calm, clarity, and strength? You can't live a powerful life with a poisonous voice inside your head. That's why the first step to change isn't action, it's awareness. Catch the thought, notice the tone, hear the self-judgment before it becomes self-sabotage. Because here's the truth most people miss: you are not your thoughts, but you are responsible for how long you entertain them. You have the power to say, this thought is not helping me. This inner voice needs to change. I speak to myself with respect because I'm building something great. Would you speak to a child the way you speak to yourself? Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to your own mind? If the answer is no, then it's time for an upgrade. Time to rewrite the script. Time to build a new inner vocabulary. Talk to yourself like someone worth fighting for. Because you are. Tell yourself, I am capable. I am not my past. I can grow through this. I will rise. Repeat it until it drowns out the old voice, until it becomes your new identity. Because once your inner dialogue shifts, your decisions shift, your habits shift, your life shifts. You don't need more motivation. You need a more powerful voice within. And it starts by simply listening, then replacing, then reinforcing. Every day, every moment, until your mind becomes your greatest ally. Stop for a moment. Take a breath. Right now, in this exact second, you are alive. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Now. And in this present moment, you have more power than you realize. Because the present is not just where life happens, it's where change happens. It's where peace lives. It's where clarity waits. It's where your future begins. But most people don't live here. They live in the past regretting what can't be changed, or in the future worrying about what hasn't happened yet. They miss this moment, chasing shadows of time. The Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, confine yourself to the present. Why? Because the present is the only place you can truly think, act, decide, and grow. The past is just a memory. The future, a possibility. But the present is a portal to peace, a portal to purpose, a portal to powerful decisions that change everything. Right now, you can choose to let go of what's been weighing you down. Right now, you can take the first step toward something better. Right now, you can realign with who you're meant to be. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to show up fully at this moment. Because this moment is where your next level begins. This moment is where strength is forged, where resilience is chosen, where action becomes your ally. No matter what your past looks like, this moment gives you the power to write a new story. No matter what fears live in your future, this moment gives you the courage to face them. The present is not a waiting room. It's a workshop, a sacred space where your potential is molded by your mindset. So ask yourself, am I here right now, or am I lost in a time that doesn't exist? Because the more present you become, the more life begins to reveal its beauty. You hear things you used to ignore. You feel deeper. You see clearer. And from that clarity comes wisdom. From that wisdom comes strength. And from that strength comes transformation. So stop rushing, stop escaping, stop waiting for the right time, because the right time is here. The right time is now. Your future doesn't start when you get the job, or when the money shows up, or when the world finally gets it. Your future starts in your mind, because everything you build on the outside must first be designed on the inside. That design is called a mental blueprint. Think of your mind as the architect. Every thought is a sketch, every belief a foundation, and every emotion a material that shapes the structure. If you keep imagining failure, guess what you'll start building? If you constantly replay worst-case scenarios, what kind of reality will you create? The Stoics understood the power of inner vision. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But here's the other side of that truth. We can also succeed more in imagination. Before it becomes real, visualization isn't fantasy. It's a mental rehearsal. It's training your brain to recognize opportunity and act on it. So instead of playing mental horror films of doubt, start creating trailers of greatness. See the version of you who stands tall. See the version who leads, who loves, who finishes what they start. See the one who turns pain into power calmly, stoically, daily. The more clearly you can see it, the more powerful you can become. Ask yourself, what blueprint am I building in my mind right now? Is it a design for freedom or fear? Is it aligned with my values or my anxiety? Then revise it. Redraw it. Rebuild it. You don't need to know every detail. Just see the direction. Then walk it one choice at a time. Remember, we become what we think about most of the time, we attract what we expect, and we live what we consistently picture. So don't leave your future to chance. Design it, frame it, and walk into it like the architect you were born to be. This is modern life Stoic, where we don't just react to life, we design it with courage and clarity. Like, subscribe, and remember, what you visualize, you magnetize. Build the blueprint, then build life. There is a prison more powerful than bars, more invisible than chains, and more destructive than any enemy you'll ever face. It's called a limiting belief, and you might be living in one right now. A limiting belief is a silent agreement, a lie disguised as truth. It's the voice that says, "I'm not smart enough, I wasn't born for this, people like me don't succeed, this is just who I am." These beliefs are not facts, they're scripts passed down from fear, failure, or someone else's projection. But just because you've believed something for a long time doesn't make it true. The Stoics understood that true slavery begins in the mind. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Now ask yourself, what beliefs have you accepted without ever challenging them? Because once you become aware of the belief, you can break it. You can say, "No more, that's not my story. I choose truth, not fear." Imagine what would happen if you replaced "I can't" with "I will." If you traded "I always fail" with "I'm still learning." If you buried the old belief and planted something stronger. That's not fantasy. That's the beginning of freedom. So today, dig deep. Shine a light into the mental prison. Ask, what belief is stopping me? Who taught me that? And why am I still carrying it? Then burn the lie. Break the chain. And replace it with something real. You are not your limitations. You are not your past beliefs. You are what you decide right now to become. Your future doesn't start when you get the job. or when the money shows up, or when the world finally gets it. Your future starts in your mind. Because everything you build on the outside must first be designed on the inside. That design is called a mental blueprint. Think of your mind as the architect. Every thought is a sketch, every belief a foundation, and every emotion a material that shapes the structure. If you keep imagining failure, guess what you'll start building? If you constantly replay worst-case scenarios, what kind of reality will you create? The Stoics understood the power of inner vision. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But here's the other side of that truth. We can also succeed more in imagination. Before it becomes real, visualization isn't fantasy. It's a mental rehearsal. It's training your brain to recognize opportunity and act on it. So instead of playing mental horror films of doubt, start creating trailers of greatness. See the version of you who stands tall. See the version who leads, who loves, who finishes what they start. See the one who turns pain into power calmly, stoically, daily. The more clearly you can see it, the more powerful you can become. Ask yourself, what blueprint am I building in my mind right now? Is it a design for freedom or fear? Is it aligned with my values or my anxiety? Then revise it. Redraw it. Rebuild it. You don't need to know every detail. Just see the direction. Then walk it one choice at a time. Remember, we become what we think about most of the time, we attract what we expect, and we live what we consistently picture. So don't leave your future to chance. Design it, frame it, and walk into it like the architect you were born to be. This is Modern Life Stoic, where we don't just react to life, we design it with courage and clarity. Like, subscribe, and remember, what you visualize, you magnetize. Build the blueprint, then build life.